Have you seen the Mohamed Salah interview, by the way, lads?
Mate, I was listening to Jamie Carragher retweeted a clip from the Anfield Rap, who I think were the guys that got the interview.
That's Gareth, Robert,
yeah.
from the Overlap.
So I think they got the interview, and what they were saying was, in all Mohamed Salah's time at Liverpool, he's only ever stopped in the mix zone twice.
I saw it. Yeah.
And they go that they ask him to stop every single time.
And he
always says, sorry lads, no. And this time around, he come out the door, made a beeline for them.
Off the back of players at Southampton as well, by the way.
And said, have you got 2 minutes? So it was clear that Mohamed Salah had something to get off his chest and wanted to make a point and wanted to use it in his contract negotiations. And that makes me feel like he's getting a new deal. I know some people are looking at it going,
wait, why? Wait, what?
Because I think he's putting the pressure on the fan base, on the club. He's letting the fans know, look, I want to stay here, yeah. It's the club that aren't offering me the deal. And he's just lumping the pressure on him.
Do you think it's bad behaviour from Mohamed Salah?
I think so, yeah. I agreed with what Jamie Carragher said.
Ahead of the week where you play Man City and Real Madrid, we're now all talking about Salah.
Yeah. And also there's 2 other players that are in the same situation as you. They're not running their mouth. You know what I mean? But then Mohamed Salah's probably thinking, I want to stay at Liverpool. I could go and earn 400 grand a week in Saudi Arabia or maybe more, whatever. But if Liverpool give me this, I can stay in it. But then how old is he now?
Are they 31?
32, isn't he? 32, I think.
32. So if you're giving him another 3-4 year deal...
You have to give him another
His frustration is that
you have to give him 3
But we're all football fans here. We probably give him 5-year contracts, but we're not... FSG are trying to moneyball everything, and they've done... You could argue, with the money they've spent in the last 5 years, they've been the best well-run club in world football, because they've barely spent that much money compared to other clubs, and they've won every trophy available to them. But let's be real, you can't moneyball Mohamed Salah. You have to give him whatever he wants.
Can I just add to this debate? When Liverpool signed him, right, their whole theory was based on stats and potential improvement and kind of looking at all that kind of thing, right? They brought him in. Klopp didn't want him. They were like, nah, this is your guy. It was based off stats. And I think they're looking at it in a similar fashion. And if they are, maybe I'm wrong and he doesn't sign a new deal, because they'll go, we can't justify sanctioning 350 grand a week, 400 grand a week for a player for 3-4 years if that's what he wants. For a year, do it.
Yeah.
For 2 years, maybe even do it. But if it's a longer contract and he's going to like 35, 36, and there's potentially going to be a drop-off there, then you don't want to kind of lump that kind of money onto a player.
You do. It's the stupidest thing that I've ever heard in my entire life when people start telling me that Liverpool should let Mohamed Salah go. They start talking about sell-on value, or they start talking about the diminishing returns theory. And you're just like, are you a moron? The geezer is unreal. The geezer scores every week. I never ever believed that Liverpool were going to lose a game of football, primarily because Mohamed Salah's in the team. Liverpool will win the league this year if Mohamed Salah remains a Liverpool player for this season. Liverpool will not win the league this year if Mohamed Salah does not remain a Liverpool player for the entirety of this season. Their entire hope of winning the league this year comes down to keeping Mohamed Salah at the team. If Mohamed Salah leaves and goes to play for Al Hilal in January, Liverpool will not win the league. If he stays at Liverpool, they will win the league.
I agree with you, but I also understand why football clubs do these, because it's like you can't guarantee 400 grand a week for a player that might just drop off a cliff eventually.
Yeah, might, but this is.
And it's also, if the theory, do you think he should be rewarded for his previous...
He's arguably better than he's ever been. He's arguably, this is the best version of Mohamed Salah we've ever seen, arguably.
Also,
he's as fit, he's as lean, he's as quick.
Go, and then therefore you replace him. So you sell him for... You wouldn't really get that much money for him anymore, would you? Because the contract is so low that he could let it run down. They're not going to make that much money if they were to sell him in January. So they therefore have to go and replace... Right, good luck. Let's work this out. They got to replace him. How much money does that cost? I guarantee you this. It costs more than what Mohamed Salah wants to be paid. And the replacement isn't as good. There's just no sense. You know, it's a great thing to talk about here, because it's also, you know, when you look at the stats, right? You don't even need to do that if you're like a football person. The stats are great, and you know, what was it? It was 10 goals, 10 assists in 11 games, and obviously he scored 2 more since then, or whatever else, right? So that's all very impressive on paper, but you don't even need to read about him. Just feel it. Just know. You know football. You've been around Mohamed Salah. And Mohamed Salah has been within your consciousness now since that debut at Vicarage Road 7-8 years ago. You know that they need him. You know how guaranteed he is. You know how good he is. You don't need to look at the pie chart of it or the graph that suggests that when he hits 32, every previous example of a 32-year-old has dropped off. Just give him the money.
Well, Michael Edwards is back, isn't he?
Michael Edwards
He's back, yeah.
And that's how they got Salah. So he might be the way they lose Salah.
Yeah, but
with that kind of thinking, right?
Why can't you? If he wants let's say he wants a 3-year deal at a massive $400,000 a week. I'm guessing that's what he wants. Maybe with an option
you're
for
right,
more.
I reckon it's
But if you
3
give him
years
that,
at 400.
If
Don't
you
you
give
think
him
that
that,
makes sense?
surely he has. All right, let's just say 2 years and he breaks his leg. God forbid, and he really is off. He's off a cliff. There'll still be someone that comes in and buys him anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's not if you tie up to a contract, you can still sell him.
Be insured anyway, like that.
Yeah.
What the trouble for Liverpool would be the potential eventuality that doesn't happen, which is he doesn't get injured, but his form just
Fine. It drops off by 20%.
He becomes Cole. No, the fear would be he becomes the Kyle Walker extreme drop.
Yeah.
Like no fade.
So you just play him as a forward and you rotate him with someone new and younger.
Can I
You
just
still
add to
sell
the
him.
conversation, please? According to Google here, I've searched what his current salary is, and it's already 350 grand a week with a potential.
He wants 500.
I reckon that he
wants them to match the Saudi.
But he
money.
may even just want that similar money
Again for
3 more years. He might even just want 350. You'd want a bit of a raise, right?
I think he wants 500.
No, but say he wanted, so he's on 350. I think that you could potentially say in his situation, 400 for 3 years.
Yeah,
That's really good value for him. But I also believe that's really good value for Liverpool.
Of course.
What do you think happens? What's your prediction? Do you think Mohamed Salah? Do you think the Liverpool hierarchy?
Well, just
will
to
keep?
add to this morning, as we speak, it's Tuesday. It's obviously going out on Wednesday, but Liverpool have posted like a picture with him smiling and stuff on Twitter, which a lot of people are using.
Not it.
No, but like a lot of people are using it as, oh, everything's happy in the camp and he's going to sign.
Yeah, no, but that's just a social media manager who's trying to make it like.
Yeah.
There's no way that Michael Edwards has gone, here, mate, tweet this. That
Never
can't.
know.
Do you reckon?
I mean, it'd happen at Man United, maybe not.
No. Like ultimately, what we have to do is now become and try. So we've discussed our feelings on it. We've discussed the approach that we would have to Mohamed Salah, and we've kind of viewed it from his perspective as well. Now, try and become the Fenway Sports Group. Try and become the Bostonian accountants who view football through the lens of
Bear in mind,
finance.
they've got to sign Trent, Virgil, and Salah. Those do come into consideration.
I don't think they sign Alexander-Arnold though. I think that
Trent
one
goes.
Trent goes to Real Madrid. I think that one is almost.
They lost Trent and Salah. They're
Trent's
in a world
the one
of pain, aren't
you
they?
don't lose.
Trent's the one that goes.
But Trent is the one you've got to move everything for.
Trent is the one that you want to go as well. If one has to go,
bored of his
Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent.
A right back.
Of course.
I do not. I think Trent's the one you keep. He's homegrown talent.
He's a right back.
He's a homegrown talent. He's one of the best players in the world. He's only going to get better. Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk probably aren't going to get better.
He's a right back though.
Mate, Van Dijk.
You know what I'm trying to say? He's a right back.
Yeah.
You move the whole club around for a right back.
I don't know
honestly,
if the position of it is.
It does matter.
Who he is
It
and
does
what he
matter, 'cause
represents.
how you describe Salah at the start of this clip was a guy that gets you a goal every single week. Goals are worth their weight in gold. He's a fantastic right back, but he's a right back, lads. He's not even a centre back. He's a right back.
Okay, I'm less wooed by your argument here. Like,
what do you mean?
Just keep saying right back.
yeah, I know. I don't quite get
Right
it.
back.
But
We're not talking about Rory Keane, are we? We're not talking about Thierry
No,
Henry.
but you can be like when Chelsea had Ashley Cole at fullback.
Yeah.
I would have said that he was
Would
most
you move the club
Henry
around for
over
Kyle
to
Walker?
Ashley
Yeah,
Cole.
yeah.
Would you move the club around for Kyle Walker?
No, but I would have moved the club around for Kyle Walker when Kyle Walker was 27. Yeah.
I think you do. I think if I was again,
They're easy to replace.
it's weird to say this. If I was a Liverpool fan, Trent would be at the top of my list.
No. He'd be
Salah is
bottom,
surely.
bottom.
Because of what
it
he
goes
is and what he
Trent, Van
represents.
Dijk, it goes Salah, Van Dijk, Trent, Alexander-Arnold, and Alexander-Arnold will go to Real Madrid. I'm convinced.
Trent's above Van Dijk.
Okay, does
Because
Mohamed
of the
Salah
age.
stay at Liverpool?
You've also got Conor Bradley. Mohamed
true.
Salah.
Conor Bradley's a great deputy.
No, this is the. No, it's not about being a great deputy. It's about having the answer. Like whether you think it's a good answer or not, there is an answer. Whereas with Mohamed Salah, there just isn't an answer.
I know I started this by saying I think he signs.
What do you
Weirdly,
think
the more I think about it, I feel like he leaves.
What do you
Yeah, I
think
do
FSG
too.
are going to do? So you're a Bostonian accountant. You have no emotional connection. You literally look at it
I
through
think
the lens
unless
of
he signs
numbers
a
and
one-year
profit.
deal or a 2-year deal
Which
at the
doesn't
money
happen.
he wants,
Which doesn't happen.
he's not going to.
Because he's not. There's nothing in it
If
for
he
him
wants
to
3 or
sign.
4 years, he's not going to.
There's nothing in it for him to sign. It won't be 4. It won't be 4. Four is him being greedy. 2 is the club being greedy. 3 is the sweet spot.
Unless they can kind of bring together a deal which is like after 2 years it drops. Maybe I don't know.
Never does he sign that deal. Never.
Also, we don't know what is being offered from Saudi. Because at this point in his life, if he wants to go for the money, that's fine. Do you know what I mean?
It doesn't matter what he's being offered from Saudi. Because it won't be comparable. Saudi offer him £1 million a week.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it matters to some people, not to Salah. It doesn't matter.
He's achieved everything. He's cemented his status as one of the greatest Liverpool players of all time.
From £1 million a week, it doesn't matter. It's never going to impact what Liverpool can offer. Liverpool can offer X, Y, and Z, and they cannot match. What Liverpool offer is, I believe, a better package than the Saudi package.
If you're Mohamed Salah at the end of his career, towards the end of his career, let's say.
I don't believe he believes it's towards the end of his career, though.
All right. Who's achieved everything he can in the game. He's become one of Liverpool's most iconic players. Jamie Carragher said he's top 5 all time for them, which I tend to agree with. Then you're well within your rights to go, if I can get $1 million a week in Saudi.
But he can get that in 2 years as well. That does not go in.
You could get that at 36 to 38.
But again, footballers could be injured. Like you could suffer a mad injury.
But look, overall, do you think that Liverpool find the money and offer him the deal, or do you think he leaves in? It will be leaving in January, won't it?
I think Trent leaves.
No, not necessarily. He can sign a pre-contract in January, get a big deal in summer,
and play to the end.
Yeah. He's not going to leave in January. That's
I'm
for
really
sure.
torn on this one, because the more I think about how Liverpool did business under Michael Edwards, the more I go, he's not going to stay.
There's no example like this, though.
But then, the more I think about the emotional attachment they've got to Mohamed Salah, the way the fan base would be if he left, everything else kind of suggests.
It'd be a sad day for the club. It would say that money and American owners have won over the hearts and minds of Liverpool fans. If it was a club decision,
it was that method that won them the Premier League. It was that method that won them the Champions League. It was that method and way of thinking that won them those trophies.
It's different when there are players that get shipped on.
This is what happens. They find the money for Salah and he signs. They find the money for Van Dijk and he signs. Trent Alexander-Arnold goes to join Jude Bellingham, his best mate, at Real Madrid.